Good evening. This is Dr. Kaziesko. Um, Usually this would be a Wellness Wednesday, but today is Friday, so um, welcome to Wellness Friday. Today I wanted to specifically set my intention for this video for to honor the most recent events of Mr. George Floyd and dedicate this video to his wife and daughter, specifically his daughter, too. Um, the reason I say that is because when I speak of burnout, a lot of times what I um, what I want to also portray is that burnout is also a process of emotional exhaustion. And so it's very important for somebody who is a trauma survivor, which right now, I truly believe that the Black community right now is really trying to um, get most of our ears to listen to and hear and validate their generational trauma right now. And so, in my heart, I feel like that's really important for us to acknowledge and to honor and listen to. And we all watched as uh, the events folded. If you did get a chance to watch the awful video of everything happening, you know, for people that were there in the streets, that was dramatic. For people, specifically this family, and what they're going to go through. And so, and their healing journey ahead of them. Um, what message I want to portray is that it's so important for us, human beings, to acknowledge trauma when it happens. Okay. And what's happening from my point of view, with the rest of the world, as the Black community is trying to get people to acknowledge and validate that, hey, this has been a problem for a long time. We have this pain, we have had this trauma, the slavery, all that kind of stuff. Um, those are generations of happenings and trauma that has caused grief for many, many, many people. And so to watch the stories of people coming out that are saying that, whether it be a couple that's white and black, or, saying that they live in fear all the time of getting something happening to them from the police, or getting pulled over, or somebody hurting them if they go out on the street, or things like that. What that comes with, and what the message they're trying to portray, is that they're literally hyper vigilant on, they're stressed. They're stressed, and they are hyper vigilant on what they're experiencing, and they have fear in their hearts about what their lives, what they're experiencing in their lives. They're fearful of getting hurt by the police communities. And so, I'm delicate with this subject because I understand and I honor everybody's belief systems around this. Um, I I may disagree with you on some things, but I will honor all of your emotions, and validate you and your experiences. So I can't speak from a personal level on this subject. I can speak from a trauma level, which I very much have experience with. What's happening, from my point of view, is that how traumatic it is for somebody to be almost like gaslit and victim blamed for decades and decades and generations, is truly, truly stressful. What that creates when somebody's told something doesn't happen, or it didn't happen, or it's not like that, or their experiences are invalidated, it creates stress, it creates self-doubt, it creates self-attacks, it creates anger, it creates all sorts of issues with depression and dissociation, and lack of self trust. And what we're seeing, I think, is a lot of people who are carrying this generational trauma, and it might not be generational, it might be in their own family. And so, what happens when somebody is emotionally burnt out and exhausted? There's so many health issues that are wrapped around traumatic histories. Okay, and so people who have higher amounts of depression, people who have higher amounts of autoimmune issues, um, I truly there's so much research on people who have high ACE scores and high adverse childhood experiences that are linked to health issues, specifically people who have a higher ACE score that's higher than like 4. Okay, so it's important to understand that this trauma, if it's not worked through, it has direct correlations with our health and with the health of future communities, future generations. So this generation is not only seeing a live trauma, but they're also carrying other generational traumas that have been, you know, suppressed. Like they're whoever it was that had, you know, people who have ancestors that were in slavery right now are watching something like this happen, a tragedy like this happen. And so, I what I want to convey is that it is so. First of all, my deepest condolences, and my heart is with those of you who are suffering from this truly awful incidents with Mr. George Floyd. And I also want to validate you. I want to validate you in all of your pain and frustration and everything that you are expressing as a community right now. And this is so important because this is also going to free up so many people of health issues too. To get those feelings out, to feel that those burdens lifted, to feel like their voice was heard, is to let it out of their nervous system. So, this is very important because it is also very linked to health issues. People, as far as I don't have the specifics of the research in front of me about the percentages of patient populations. Sorry, my battery's running low in my PC here. I don't have the specifics, so I'm going to get straight to the point. Essentially, it leads to conditions of cardiovascular issues, blood pressure issues, adrenal issues, depression, autoimmunity. Um, and I believe a lot of autoimmunity is from self attacks, self attack of from that type of treatment. You almost feel like it's, your fault or something, you know. So there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of even research about how specific negative emotions affect our health and inflammation markers. So what I wanted to say is that um, not only is it important to validate this community, but it's important for their health as well, their health and well-being. And to George Floyd's family and daughter, you you did not deserve anything of this nature in any capacity. And I wish you peace in health, and please take care of each other and work through this trauma together, um, so that it is released from your system. It doesn't translate into problems with health in the future. And to all of you who are experiencing any health issues that is forementioned, um, who are carrying this generational trauma, please acknowledge that, journal it, write out your feelings, go get a punching bag, do you know what I mean? Like, um, join one of the protests, anything that you can do to get this out of your body and get it heard, get it out of your nervous system. Okay, because if it's not healthy for us to swallow emotions for so long or blame ourselves or you know, it's your nervous system needs to heal from this traumatic experience. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say this week. I just wanted to honor that. And if you feel inclined to share this, I'd be I'd be happy. Uh, you know, I feel like this is the world needs compassion right now. You know, there's so much going on. We're in the middle of a pandemic. There's, you know, you see all these funny memes going on, like what's next? Like the murder hornets, the, you know, George Floyd, the pandemic. A lot of people are like, what, you know. So just collectively as a world, we all need love and we all need validation, and we need that for our health and well-being as well, because that's very much part of our health and our system. And so it's very important for us all to acknowledge whatever we're going through right now and kind of get it out of our system, so that it doesn't stay and develop into disease processes. So I'm Dr. Misty Kosciuszko. Thank you so much for joining today, and I will see you guys next week.